very good against like anything that's not the Terran's 3 racks, 1 or 2 tech lab, 1 reactor, which we talked about a little bit last episode, where they get both stim and combat shields and hit a timing before medevacs. I feel like Parting's build would be a little weak to that, but the later, I feel like Parting's build matchups really well against anything else.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. It's pretty weak against 3 racks before medevac timings. Like, you're just being too greedy, but if they go for a medevac timing, then you should be pretty much fine.
No. I was thinking low numbers. This is more of like my personal problem with it. In low numbers, Storm isn't as good as having the Colossus as far as defending early things. So that's my issue with it. I don't know if you guys have tried this build on ladder at all, because I've been trying it.
I used to do kind of similar builds to it, except I would get a Robo for an Observer and a War Prism too, and instead of defending,
That's what he does.
like
That's his build. He gets a Robo.
yeah. I would do like the moment Storm finished, I would do a Storm drop to try and keep them in their base rather than defend with Storm.
Okay, well, that's similar enough.
I don't do the 1 forge or 1 gate 1 forge openings. I usually just go 3 gate robo, pretty much normal, and then I just get 630 to 645 gas into like a 7-minute Twilight Council. And as long as you constantly corner boost Storm, you should be able to get Storm before they can attack.
And I feel like you open Storm over Colossus.
Oh yeah, I love Storm over Colossus, but like you'll see me go Colossus sometimes just because I just want to get better with Colossus. But if I had to choose by preference, Storm is a lot better, especially against those mid game pushes because you can't really go up the ramp, and then on top of that, you don't have to deal with those SCV pull all-ins. If you do, then it's going to be pretty weak in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think that Primal has a valid point though. Like, don't you think in small numbers, like if they have a timing attack, that the Storm is less effective for defending than Colossus? Because I mean, Storm is it's a skill shot essentially. I mean, you have to land the storms for them to have any effect whatsoever. And if you miss one storm,
it's 100% more micro intensive.
Right.
Yeah, it's more. You definitely have to have more skills with them than a Colossus, obviously, but it does reward you greatly because, like, if they go up a ramp, which generally that's how most maps are at your natural, the storms will connect. It's up to you if you are going to land the storms or not. And if you go Twilight Council, you go up to 8 gates, so you can always reinforce a lot quicker and a lot more. Whether if you go for a Colossus open, he has 6 gates. And losing that Colossus, there's always a timing where the Colossus doesn't have a range. So if they could target that, you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, the first attack, you don't have range. And then you have to micro it really well.
Yeah.
Not to die.
While we're on WCS Korea stuff, if you guys want to talk about Sora, I wasn't able to catch the games, but I know all 3 of you at least really like those games. So
I know,
go
I
ahead
want
and
to
talk
do that
about
build
I think,
so
next.
bad.
I'm copying that build. So Sora opens up like a gateway expand, but instead he chrono boosts out a Stalker instead of the typical like Sentry with the mothership. The Stalker allows him to get the Overlords. Like, you can't bring the Overlord to your base. It's kind of like a sweet timing you could hit. Usually can snipe off the first Overlord that's coming towards your base, or the second Overlord. So if you snipe that off, I mean, Zerg's pretty much behind. And then he goes up to 6 sentries and then goes for a quick third base. 6 sentries is a pretty nice call, because you could just put them between your Nexus and your mineral line at the third, and you should be pretty much fine against Lings. And then the way he walls against Roaches is like amazing. I don't know if you have the clip.
I don't, unfortunately.
Polar Knight.
Yeah, he does one cannon, right, and then 4 gateways around the cannon.
Yeah. The gateway where he put the gateways were completely smart. It's where his Roaches can't even attack the cannons. It's way out of range. As you know, cannons have 7 range, Roaches have 3, and it's like the perfect spot to put the gateways. It was just amazing.
Don't Roaches have 4 range?
Huh? Oh, they have 4 range. Well, yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, I forgot the buff, but...
They also don't have burrow speed.
Funny.
I want burrow speed, man. I don't know what to tell you. You can totally have your DT speed if I get burrow speed.
No.
No?
If that patch,
you wouldn't take that trade?
DT speed is so broken.
Yeah, but like...
Out of it, though, the Roach Burrow, if they give them that speed, burrowed roaches can outrun immortals and zealots without charge if
Yeah.
that goes through.
So
And then
I don't see a
don't
problem with
That's
that.
ridiculous.
Having the DT speed is just gonna F up PvP even more, and I don't like PvP right now.
Yeah.
So
Alright, you guys want to talk any more about Sora, though?
Well, Primal just got dropped, so it's all flatline.
I mean,
Unless
he
Pat's
did
on.
I think Starfire watched him.
everything about him
I'll
was like
watch.
he was very methodical on his force fields as well as like well placed. His buildings were well placed. He had everything just well thought out the entire game. He did the same exact opening in all of his games and just dominated. He did a +2 timing with 2 immortals with Blinkstalker Sentry, which was timed out really nicely because he saw all the roaches being committed and he was always pressuring him, like a slight pressure, so he can kind of keep him in check to see if he's trying to do a meter switch or not. It was just really, really smart. And then he added on, like, there was on Whirlwind, so Whirlwind's kind of, like, very known to have that meter switch in the super late game. And he had, like, 8 cannons each base while he was going Colossus, Stalker, Immortal. And he ends up winning.
Who does he have to practice with on CJ Antis? As far as Zergs go.
Hydra?
Effort.
Hydra and Effort,
After
yeah.
effort, okay. Because he's now 4-0 versus Curious, and Curious is not a bad player.
Curious is
that's-
pretty good against Protoss in general, or at
That
least
is-
he used to
He's,
be.
That
he's
is another
16 and
thing.
0 against Zergs right now.
16
Wow.
and 0 against Zergs.
Yeah.
That's
Hasn't
from
dropped him
the, that's including the WCG.
Yeah. Like all his broadcast games.
Well, if you look
16
at the results that were posted on Reddit for the month of September, the matchup results, like, doesn't Protoss have like a 60% win rate over Zerg right now?
And most of that's from Sora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I blame so.
Well, and that doesn't take into account ladder. That's like professional events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, going 16 and 0 is definitely going to spike.
oh, absolutely.
So I watched Sora's WCG run where he kicked a lot of butt until he met
Maybe
Party.
it's sulky.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think this kind of proves that he actually is a serious contender now. Like, it's obviously not just one tournament luck, right?
Yeah.
Well, it definitely has Zerg's number.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to find.
I was
his-
sold on him on his run because the way he played, if you watched it, was just
Yeah.
really smart. It was just straight up play. It wasn't really gimmicky. His PvP is the only thing that's
Yeah.
close to being gimmicky, but like that's PvP right now, so we'll see.
Okay, so then he went. So he 2-0'd Fantasy, 2-0'd Shrine, 2-0'd Bomber, and then he went into 2-0'd Curious, 2-0'd Fumiho, 2-0'd Sulky. He 2-0'd Sulky, who just destroyed Rain last night.
Oh, this was a little while ago, but I mean, sulky's always.
Wasn't that long ago. It was how long ago was this? About a half a month.
ZVP is 46 to 53
Was
at
it?
the moment. Yeah. Much closer than 60-40.
If it was 60.
What was something was 60-40. One of the matchups was pretty skewed, and I think it was ZVT. And Zerg was actually
Zerg was actually
60%.
Yeah. Zergs are ahead right now in Medic. Like, they're the strongest race right now.
That really surprised me, though. ZVT was that drastic.
With the Overseer change? Well, another thing you have to
I don't
think
think that
about
changed
is it's also, you can't just go on that. That's just the racial winning
Oh, I
percentages.
know.
You can't say, because it also matters about like what players are on Rise and Fall. Like Harding wasn't looking too hot 2 months ago, but now he looks like he's the real
Yeah.
deal.
Right.
Same thing with Sora. Like no one saw him come out of left field, but he's definitely pulling that 16-0 run. Definitely helps the Protoss just a little bit.
Well, and it also has a lot to do with the meta, because, like, if a certain style or build order gets really popular, and 1 month, like, Protoss could be destroying Zerg, because that meta just is unbalanced right now. And then the next month, it could completely switch the other way, because people are still using that meta, but Zerg have found an answer to it. So, I mean,
Oh.
those statistics are essentially...
That's
don't
what
mean much
playing
at all.
Protoss is. Playing Protoss is finding the holes in the meta, and then you win a little bit until they figure out what you're doing, and then
Right.
then you start losing. And
Right.
you're like, no, I'm losing. I have
Then
to
you
find
gotta
a new
figure
hole."
out.
Yeah, that's why Sora's built so good. It's very aggressive in your face. He goes for quick blink off that quick third. It's just different timings than everyone else is really doing.
Yeah.
And he's playing very It's a quick third. So the Zerg doesn't know what to do. They can't really punish it. And if they do, they're all in. You know.
Harding had a very similar build to his way back, and I remember Soki just dominating against him. It was like
He moved
the
out
first
like,
season in Korea.
Yeah.
They
He
both
made the
got
mistake
pretty
of
quick
attacking.
thirds. And the difference between Sora versus Soki and Soki versus Rain is there's so much you could learn about Rain's style than Sora. There's barely any information when Soki had to face Sora. There wasn't really much he could work with. Rain, he's very predictable, which is why it was pretty. Soki was a favorite, was because it's easy for Zergs to adapt against Protoss if you know what they're going to be doing. And that's what he pretty much did with the first game. He got a hatch first, he blocked his natural as well, and got gas and pull. It was just like completely behind from there for Rain, and it just got really unfortunate. But
Rain should probably cheese the first 2 games of every best of 5. Like, if he seriously wants to win them. Because then he can macro from there.
Well, he's
'Cause,
been
like-
changing it up more lately, though, for sure.
his
He's been
anytime
trying.
he has to go into best of 5 or best of 7, it gets really, really bad for him. But like best of 3 is pretty easy because there's only 2 wins.
Yeah.
3 wins and 4 wins is pretty hard to pull off.
With just
Uh,
safe, solid macro play that if people are just gonna go, well, you're doing the same thing every single time. So
yeah.
So looking on to the rest of WCS, so we just talked about Sora a little bit. Looking on to, I want to just touch on how do you think this end of WCS Korea kind of ends up? Because Deer advanced over Trap, so you have one Protoss, and he's gonna be playing either Jockshi or Maru. Who saw Jockshi ever coming back to the round of 8? And then
Doxy's great.
He's been capable. He just plays in streaks.
He's good at TVT too, so.
Yeah.
And then if Parting can get by Sue, then it's
He
Parting
will.
versus Sulky.
I think Soki will win that.
Yeah,
Soki's
I think
just-
Sulky wins this GSL in my opinion.
I think the only person that could maybe stop Sulky is possibly Jockji if he plays at the absolute peak of his skill.
I don't even think so.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
Deer.
Yeah, maybe.
The thing about Deer and Trap is that they always come up with the best builds that I've ever seen. It's well
They are
thought out,
creative. Yeah.
and I just like that they had to face each other. And Deer obviously shown he's a better PvP,
I'm just
but
gonna
like
keep underestimating Deer, so he keeps
Deer's
winning.
the way he played in his PvZ in that one group was just amazing. His builds were just spot on. Everything he was doing, like he had some flaws in his games, like decision making. That's pretty much why he isn't well known as one of the best Protoss players, because he makes some and his decision making isn't the best, but his builds are just like amazing. The one he did on Derelict Watcher pretty much stood out to me. I don't know who he faced. I think it was DRG. He goes for a quick
Yeah.
third, and he gets up to like 4 Void Rays. He's going for Void Ray Colossus, and he sends the Void Rays. Like he timed it out really nicely with his Void Rays and his Mothership to get to the 4th base on Derelict Watcher to cancel it. And it was just amazing what he did.
Yeah. Deer's always
SOS used to do similar stuff to that, but
It was like one gate expand, or it was forward expand into gateway, into another nexus, and he got up to a Stargate and got Void Rays out to defend. I don't know how that worked, but it did.
I don't know. I feel like DRG could punish it, especially on Derelict. Like, I don't know.
Okay. That looks a bad map for Protoss.
Like if you're gonna go for a roach time, he's gonna have like so many Void Rays. So the only thing you can do is Zerglings, but then that comes down to his building placements. As long as he can protect the cannon, he's gonna be pretty much fine.
Well, even if he would have scouted it, he could have done like a Ling Hydra timing, which is pretty common on that map.
Ling Hydras, yeah.
All right, so WCS Europe, Genius.
Yeah, I've been rooting for a Genius comeback since he got second place back in 2012, like Season 1. Genius has been one of my favorite players just because he's very crafty, like his name would imply. And he used some sick mind games and really sick build versus Nerchio. Like, Nerchio's really well known, I think, as a reactive Zerg. And so Genius, the first game, I'm pretty sure it was, Frost busted out, it wasn't like a quick Stargate either. It was like the standard Stargate, like if you're going to go into 4 Phoenix and then like tech switch. But he just built the 1 Phoenix.
You want me to play the
And-
clip?
Yeah, go ahead. He
It
just
actually
built
was a late Stargate because he got it after.
yeah,
his 3 gates.
yeah, 3 gates
So-
and then a Stargate. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like it's